You're in the middle of a conversation. Voices rise, emotions heat up. You feel your pulse quicken, your palms sweat. Part of you wants to scream. Another part wants to shut down and disappear. But what if there was a third option? What if? No matter how intense the moment, you could remain composed, rooted, aware, and unshakably calm. In this video, we'll uncover how to do just that. Using the profound insights of Carl Jung, one of the founding fathers of psychology, we'll explore techniques to stay composed during even the most difficult conversations. Because let's face it, life is full of hard talks, conflicts, confrontations, emotional minefields. And most people get swallowed by their reactions. They either explode, withdraw, or say things they later regret. But not you. Not anymore. This isn't just about being better at communication. This is about emotional mastery, about knowing your inner world so well that nothing outside of you can hijack your peace. Let's dive in. Carl Jung believed that every human has a shadow, the unconscious part of our psyche that holds everything we reject or deny about ourselves. In a difficult conversation, when someone says something that hits a nerve, it often activates this shadow, that sudden burst of anger, defensiveness, or hurt. It isn't just about what they said. It's about what it stirred up inside you. Jung said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." So the first technique is awareness of projection. When you feel triggered, pause and ask, is this really about them? Or are they reflecting something I haven't faced in myself? For example, if someone accuses you of being selfish and you feel a strong emotional reaction, it could be because you've spent your life trying not to be. Maybe deep down, there's guilt or shame tied to that identity. That's your shadow being poked. Understanding this gives you power. Instead of reacting blindly, you can pause and reflect. You shift from, "How dare they say that?" to, "Why does that affect me so deeply?" That space between stimulus and response is where your composure is born. And when you integrate your shadow, when you begin accepting the parts of yourself you've denied, you become harder to trigger because there's less inside you to hide from. Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating all parts of the self. A powerful way to do this in real time is through the observer mindset. Imagine you're watching the conversation from outside yourself. You see your body, your tone, your facial expressions. You see the other person's too. You're not just in the moment, you're also above it. This shift in perspective creates emotional distance. It activates your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, instead of letting your amygdala hijack the moment with fight or flight reactions. Here's how to activate it. Breathe. 3 slow, deep breaths. Label what you feel. I'm noticing anger, or I feel misunderstood. Imagine watching the moment like a movie. What would a calm, wise observer notice? This technique is rooted in mindfulness, but it aligns perfectly with Jung's philosophy, because individuation isn't just about healing past wounds. It's about showing up to the present moment as your whole self, not just the emotional fragment that got triggered. When you take the observer's seat, you regain access to clarity, empathy, and choice. You respond rather than react. And in heated conversations, that's the difference between damage and depth. Jung taught that every person holds both masculine and feminine psychological energies, called the anima and animus. In tough conversations, these energies often get unbalanced. Masculine energy. Animus is direct, assertive, logical. Feminine energy. Anima is intuitive, receptive, emotionally attuned. When you lean too hard into one, you lose balance. Too much animus? You become overly rigid or aggressive. Too much anima? You become overly passive or emotional. To stay composed, you need both. You need the calm, grounded presence to hold the structure of the conversation, masculine, and the compassionate, intuitive awareness to understand the emotions underneath, feminine. Here's a quick way to balance them. Ask yourself, what's the truth I need to stand on right now? Animus. Then ask, what's the emotion I need to stay aware of? Anima. Balancing these inner energies allows you to speak clearly and listen deeply. You don't bulldoze the other person, but you also don't abandon yourself. This integration is key to emotional maturity. It helps you hold space for intensity without becoming it. Over time, you start to notice that hard conversations become growth opportunities. They reveal where you're still fragmented and invite you to become more whole. Jung once wrote, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." When conversations get difficult, most people focus outward, on what the other person said, how unfair it was, how to win the argument. But the true source of composure is inner stillness. It's the ability to anchor yourself in the storm. You develop this stillness by creating an inner sanctuary, a space within you that is untouched by noise, ego, or emotion. How? Through consistent self-reflection, through meditation, through understanding your values and grounding yourself in them, in conversation. This stillness gives you a superpower. You can pause without panic. You can hear criticism without crumbling. You can stay silent without submission. Because you are rooted in something deeper than approval or control. You are rooted in you. One powerful technique is the inner anchor visualization. Imagine a deep anchor dropping into the core of your body. With each breath, feel it sink deeper. No matter what waves hit you, that anchor keeps you grounded. This practice creates a physiological calm that helps override reactive impulses. You literally train your nervous system to stay regulated. When others escalate, you de-escalate. When others fight to be heard, you listen to understand. This isn't weakness, it's leadership. And over time, people start to feel your calm. It influences them. It elevates the conversation. Difficult conversations aren't just communication challenges. They're spiritual tests, emotional mirrors, opportunities to confront the parts of us we usually hide. Through Jung's wisdom, we learn that the triggers aren't problems to avoid. They're invitations to grow. When you understand your shadow, you stop projecting. When you practice the observer mindset, you stay grounded. When you balance your inner energies, you stay whole. And when you cultivate inner stillness, you become untouchable. In a world of reactivity, your calm is revolutionary. So the next time a conversation gets hard, don't rush, don't react, don't run. Instead, breathe. Remember, Jung, and choose to respond from your highest self, because composure isn't silence, it's strength. And now, you have it.